deploys hundreds of A-10 Warthog to Southwest Asia. The Idaho Air National Guard recently sent one of biggest deployments in state's history, amid the pandemic. As nearly a dozen A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft from the 124th Fighter Wing based at Gowan Field departed for Southwest Asia in support of combat operations. "This is what our people signed up for, and they are excited for the opportunity to answer the nation's call," said 124th Operations Group Commander Colonel Matt McGarry, according to a news release. "This aircraft is built for supporting troops on the ground, whether that be Army or Marines in contact with the enemy, or protecting downed airmen. We are primarily driven to an air-ground purpose." More than 400 troops will be deployed to various locations in Southwest Asia for up to 180 days, marking the second largest deployment in the Wing's history. According to a recent service news release, members of the 124th Fighter Wing and the 190th Fighter Squadron, based at Gowan Field, will continue to deploy throughout the spring and summer in support of Operations Freedom Sentinel and Inherent Resolve. Crew previously reported that Governor Little paid a visit to Gowan Field and addressed these men and women as they prepared to deploy. "It means a lot to our airmen, he's our commander-chief, and to send our airmen off this morning was outstanding," said Colonel Smith. "Now they're off to serve and provide air support in several areas throughout Southwest Asia." "We have only so many airplanes, but all of those airmen, every single one of those airmen has a line and is attached to the mission," he said. "It takes every single one of them to make it happen." The A-10 Thunderbolt II is a single-seat, twin-turbofan-powered aircraft designed specifically for close air support and ground attack missions against armored vehicles. The aircraft's sub-sonic speed and large straight-wing design allows for extreme maneuverability at low altitudes and extended time on target or to loiter above the battlefield. The airframe was designed from the very start as a short takeoff and landing aerial platform for the 30mm GAU-8 Avenger rotary cannon, which can fire 3,900 depleted uranium shells per minute. When combined with the ability to carry the AGM-65 Maverick air-to-surface missile and laser-guided bombs, the A-10 can destroy enemy armor at close range or from a standoff position. Redundant control surfaces and hydraulic systems combined with titanium armor protecting the pilot, control systems and ammunition make the A-10 highly survivable in combat. When performing forward air control missions, the A-10 changes its designation to OA-10, although it remains just as combat capable as the A-10. Its lethal effect on the battlefield combined with the toughness to return its pilot to base even after suffering extensive damage has led pilots and crew to nickname the aircraft the Warthog. Development and design. The A-10 was born of the Attack Experimental AX Program Office, which launched in 1966 to develop a ground attack aircraft to replace the Douglas A-1 Skyraider. In 1970, the threat posed by the Soviet Union's overwhelming number of tanks along the borders of Western Europe led the Air Force to request contractor proposals for an airframe specifically designed to conduct the CAS mission and destroy enemy armor. The call for design stipulated a low-cost aerial weapons platform, less than $3 million per unit, capable of loitering above the battlefield and engaging enemy targets at low altitude and speed with a high-speed rotary cannon, while providing extreme crew and aircraft survivability. Later, the requirements would be further specified to include a maximum speed of 450 miles per hour and a normal operating speed of 300 miles per hour in combat to enable easier engagement of slow-moving ground targets. Furthermore, the new aircraft was required to take off in less than 4,000 feet, enabling operations from small airfields close to the front lines, carry an external load of 16,000 pounds and have a mission radius of 285 miles, all for a final cost of $1.4 million per aircraft. Features and deployment. Fairchild Republic's World War II fighter, the P-47 Thunderbolt, had begun its service in Europe as fighter and bomber escort, but soon earned a reputation as a relentless and tough ground attack aircraft that dispatched Nazi armor and artillery in close proximity to friendly troops, while creating havoc in enemy assembly areas and along rail and road supply routes. It was a natural choice for the company to name its new CAS dedicated aircraft after its WWII-era forefather, Thunderbolt II. The entire design of the aircraft revolved around the high-speed 30mm Avenger cannon. The weapon gives the A-10 its up-close tank-busting capabilities, announced by the long burp sound that has saved and encouraged many an infantryman in dire straits on the battlefield. Although developed initially to provide an aerial counterpunch to the mass of Soviet tanks poised along the borders of Western Europe, the A-10 did not see combat until the Gulf War in 1991. There the Warthog earned its nickname, getting pilots back to base despite heavy damage from ground fire, while destroying 900 Iraqi tanks, 2,000 armored vehicles and trucks and over 1,200 artillery pieces. Just 4 A-10s were lost to Iraqi surface-to-air missiles in over 8,000 sorties. The A-10 next saw combat and search and rescue missions in the Balkans in 1994–95 and again in 1999, before being deployed to Afghanistan in 2002 and participating in the entirety of Operation Iraqi Freedom.